here's my first PRS guitar. So let's take a look at it. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, I'll get rid of this. So what is this guitar? This is PRS S2 single cut. And I think it's time to tell the story of this, my first PRS guitar that was this S2 single cut. And I think the story itself is quite interesting. And here's why. First of all, the way how I got introduced to PRS guitars was that I started listening Linkin Park at a really young age, and one of my favorite live performances was at the Live in Texas DVD, and I remember that like red PRS with the hybrid theory soldier somewhere here, and but it was custom 24 model or custom 22, so maybe that's something I could get at some point, a red custom 24. But anyways, let's tell the story about it. So I was a huge Linkin Park fan in like early 2000 until like the release of the album Minutes to Midnight, and then I kind of started listening to different stuff. So yeah, it was a natural thing. But I think later on I like sometimes revisited that band and noticed that, oh, they're playing PRS guitars. Those are really cool instruments, and you know, I really love this like these aesthetics, these birds and stuff like that. And then a little bit later I discovered that the rhythm guitarist for Steve Vai's band, Dave Weiner, was also using PRS guitars. It was one of the Riff of the Week episodes, or you know, once Riff of the Week was on YouTube, I discovered, you know, that he was using I think he was starting to use PRS guitars back then. So it was 2012 or maybe 2010 or something like that. But then around that time I started to discover who other guitarists are using PRS guitars, and I discovered this guitarist called Mark Tremonti. I noticed that he had the signature guitar model, and I started looking at Creed. Yeah, I thought it's cool, and then once I listened, it was Isolation by Alter Bridge, and that really got me. So, you know, once I discovered Mark Tremonti's playing with Alter Bridge, Tremonti and Creed, I started to feel like I need to try one of those PRSs. I started, the Tremonti signature, the SC model, at the closest music store, and I really loved it. And then a little bit later I had the chance to also do like a comparison between the S2 Custom 24 and a Core Custom 24, and I loved those, like that thing. A few years later I was studying in the bachelor's program in Karelia University of Applied Sciences in Finland. And one thing that I found really interesting was to do my thesis about songwriting with alternate tunings, or so the thesis was titled as Alternate Tunings as a Tool for Songwriting. So yeah, alternate tunings and songwriting basically combined together. And I thought that it would make sense to actually have a guitar that have like a fixed bridge. And because of that, you know, around that time I already had only guitars with Floyd Rose bridge, and so I couldn't really do any open tuning experiments easily, except with my acoustic guitar. But I didn't like how it sounded or how it played, so to me it made more sense to get a like a single cut guitar, like what Tremont uses, or something with a fixed bridge. So it was the summer 2015, or 2016. I think it was 2016. But it was the summer. I worked really hard in a summer job, and managed to fund buying this guitar. I found this as like a B stock, which was like a returned guitar from a German music store, and just ordered it because I thought the price was good, and they still have the return policy, so I ordered it. But then things started to get really interesting. There was a small issue with like the finish of the neck or fretboard that made me send it back to the dealer, and then it went back to the, I think it went to European headquarters in UK, and it was totally fine. I understand that stuff happens with guitars. So I had to wait until it was finished. The finish was finished, so I heard something about the process. I guess the neck was refinished or something like that. But I don't really care what happened. The only thing is I have a functional guitar that works, stays in tune, looks good. That's all that I needed. So I thought, once I got it back, it was like weeks before the Christmas, or few days before the Christmas, and I was about to have exchange studies in Denmark. So I decided to have a really interesting test. So I decided to have this guitar with me during those times, only with this guitar going to study, and I loved it. And I felt like this is the best guitar I was having back then. So after those 5.5 months, I felt that I have to start to look more like what this brand is all about, and how they are building the other models, maybe with a whammy bar, and perhaps invest having a custom 22 or 24. More about that guitar later in other video. But yeah, it's once I wrote that thesis, it became more obvious for me to start working on more with the open tunings, write more songs with those, and that led me towards like applying to a program, and getting more educated about the music here in Denmark. So this guitar led to really good things, and because the songwriting with different tunings and the songwriting itself has become a really huge part of me, my style, my artistic journey, my musical identity. So I thought it would be somehow like give a more like personal feeling to this guitar to have it signed. So I decided to get this guitar signed by Tremonti. So I discovered Tremonti around 2010. Any of his band never visited Finland before, I think 2019. But once I moved to Denmark, it was like few weeks or few months. Once they had a Dying Machine tour in Copenhagen, they played there. So I decided to buy a VIP package and get this guitar signed no matter what. So I got this guitar signed by Tremonti. I have a little like I think iPad projector thing attached there. So those autographed signatures stay there, and then I have like only the headstock signed by Mark Tremonti himself. So that's why I think this is like my main songwriting guitar when it comes down to using alternate tunings and things like that. And besides that, I'm going to show a little bit of the signs that this guitar managed to gain during these years, but I tried to take as good care of as possible with this, and I've performed a few times with this. If there was a song that needed something out from this guitar, or if I wasn't busy using the whammy bar or something like that. So this guitar has become one of the most important tools for me to use, and I hope it's going to stay that way too. I wrote most of the songs on the album Truth Seeker with this guitar and recorded as well. So I think that's where you can mostly hear this song, and all the open tuning stuff is done with this. So yeah, and hopefully there's more open tuning songs to come in the near future. So yeah, that's what this first PRS guitar means to me. I think there's a lot more like emotional value or connection with this, because it was like 5 months spending with this guitar and writing a lot of songs with it. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you found this video inspirational. So let me know in the comment section if you think I should, get that red custom 24 kind of PRS to get the whole circle. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and please hit thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. See you on the next one. Goodbye.